Good morning. I'm speaking quietly because people are still asleep. It is 6:25, and I'm beginning to pack up here. It is a cool, almost chilly morning. I'd say it's in mid to low 60s this morning. There's a breeze, as you can see, which is perfect. I'm going to finish packing up, and I'm going to eat breakfast. So if you can't hear this, I'll overdub it. That's breakfast down there. That's hot cereal, maple and brown sugar, oatmeal. We looked up here on the hill and you can see the first rays of sunlight are coming over the mountain to shine on the wood tops on the ridge. It's very cool down here with a nice breeze going. And because the breeze is in the valley, I have hope that for the first 3 or 4 miles I'll have that breeze. As I said, I'm wearing my down vest for the first day of the entire trip. And I'm sure I'll take that off after breakfast before I get moving, but it's still nice to have that reality that I'm doing that. So, busted everything out here, almost completely packed. It won't take me long to get out of here once I'm ready. It is 7:49. This is the earliest I have left for camp from any day of the trip. So it's good to get an early start on my second longest day on the trail. I don't know how much I'm going to film today because it's a lot of uphill. When I get to views, I'll definitely do that because there should be some spectacular views today, the best views of the trip. But yeah, I'm just excited to get out of camp at a decent hour, to have a cool morning. I think it'll be optimal for hiking. I think this kind of uphill is typical of maybe the first 3 miles this morning to Virginia Hawkins Falls, and then I think it gets considerably steeper for most of the rest of the day with a couple of downhill breaks, but not much. So I'm going to conserve energy, not do a lot of talking, and save my comments for important information, for special sightings, beautiful things, and vistas. Thanks for coming along. Again, leaving Laurel Fork Falls campsite. Beautiful campsite, beautifully situated. I really enjoyed watching the evening sun settle over it last night and watch the morning sun steal over it this morning. I had a pileated, not sure how you pronounce it, woodpecker that just basically went up the creek valley, sounding like a jackhammer or something this morning. It was hysterical. But anyway, let's get underway. Okay, I just crossed another suspension bridge back in the woods. I'm not sure if you can see it. Passed one site that was tucked right beside the creek. This one is up on a hill. Beautiful open spot though, with a nice place for a fire, with the sound of the creek down below. You really can't go wrong with the Laurel Fork Valley. It's really pretty and has some gorgeous camping along this way. So if you're looking for even a day hike, apparently Laurel Fork Falls is a popular day hike destination. Well, as is Virginia Hawkins. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But anyway, we will see. Coming up on a sign and a gate. Let's see what this portends. Still seeing the boot prints of that couple that I hiked with 2 days ago. They're ahead of me. Laurel Fork Creek Road, it says. Welcome to Laurel Fork Creek Valley. All right, there we go. That was what I was looking for. White blaze to let me know I'm in the right direction. You're looking at another scene of the Laurel Fork Valley. I was talking to a middle-aged couple that hiked in from the Laurel Valley access point where I'm headed today, and they described it as being almost planted. I mean, it has an incredible beauty to it when you've let nature do its thing, and that's what's happened here. After a while, they've let nature do its thing again, and the result is just a really beautiful, gracious valley that is a long one too, that wanders and fairly wide, being able to hike on both sides of the creek, ultimately down to those campsites and the waterfall at the end where it falls into Lake Jocassee. Really beautiful. You look at this. It's a gorgeous little spot. Crossing apparently at one point for a road, but I believe the Foothills Trail continues this way. Anyway, one of the things that you get from a through hike that you don't get from other kinds of hiking, well, here's a bridge that was hidden, so I guess I am continuing that way. Oh. One of the things that you get, just a quick look at the beautiful creek, from a through hike is a sense of how the terrain changes and how inevitable it becomes that one piece of terrain gives way to another. It's a really beautiful feature, so that's a plus if you decide to through hike the Foothills Trail. It's being able to see how the landscape changes. Well, first wildlife sighting of the morning. This looks like I don't know, maybe a banded king snake of some sort. It looks non-venomous to me, and it is doing what it's supposed to, which is getting out of the way. Cool. Second snake encounter. Right, so it looks like there's a detour because the bridge is out. It says this detour will take hikers to a point on the trail 3 bridges above the Virginia Hawkins campsite. If you wish to see the falls or camp, you must proceed up the trail around 0.2 miles. Sign will be present. So I guess I'm taking the detour. Yeah, I'm taking the detour because that one goes to the falls, and I guess I'm not interested in going to the falls. I'll see if I can see them from the trail. I don't know. I'll follow the trail. The trail's the detour, so that's my plan. Okay, detour is finished. I have white blazes again. Beside this creek. I assume this is the creek that the Virginia Hawkins Falls is on. I don't know. I missed that because of the detour, trying to stay my way. I didn't want to go in 4/10 of a mile, back 4/10 of a mile, then do a major uphill on a detour. So I'm going to savor the recollection of Laurel Fork Falls in my mind for now, and go from there. So my big consideration now is water. I need to start thinking about water. I know that there's some springs ahead, but I got to figure out where the last spring is that I can fill up. So when I get to the next parking area, I want to get out my maps and really study them and figure that part out, because I'll probably camel up with over 3 liters of water for the climb on Sassafras. There's a spring at my campsite, so I just need enough water to get me over the hump as far as that goes. This trail continues to be beautiful. Now in a different way. I tell you, they ought to call the detour Poison Ivy Lane or Ridge or something like that. It was impossible to walk without, stepping through poison ivy. So keep that in mind if you have to do that detour. I can tell you this is Flat Rock Campsite. It is very nice and inviting. It's got a series of benches. It's got a fire pit. I don't know if this one is provisioned with cables. Bare cables. It does on the signpost appear to have water. So, pretty place along the trail between Laurel Fork Falls and probably pretty soon after the access road to Laurel Valley. Still on my way to the Laurel Valley access. It's a long kind of uphill haul. Very tricky trail. Last hour or so I keep feeling like, hey, I'm about to hit my downhill, but I haven't. but I just paused at another spring and scooped up water, filled it up. This should hold me to the spring that's on my next leg of my hike, the chimney top leg, which is higher elevation but shorter mileage. That's my hope anyway. Take a look at this. Cool. And this trail is pretty, as you can see. It hugs the contour here, sort of, for the most part, up and down, gently rolling. Look at those big rocks up in the distance here. A really pretty time of day to be on a trail. There's a breeze blowing. The breeze makes the shadows kind of dappled on the ground, as you can see. Just sort of magical. You've got ferns of different kinds. Here's a fern that has a really fine sort of frond on it. Over here you have a different kind of fern. This fern has wider sort of leaves. I don't know how you call it. How you talked about that. I'll ask my mom at some point. She knows all about ferns. Anyway, this is where I'm going. Cool rock overhang though. At last. I'm not kidding, the last 45 minutes has been, or maybe the last half hour has been pretty tiring. Laurel Fork Falls, 8.1 miles. That's a good haul. That's a good haul. And that's how much I've done. 61.7 I have come to this point. This is what things look like here. This is the Laurel Valley Access Area. This old sign says Chimney Top Gap, 2.4 miles. That is my next point. My next climb. Some Jocassee Gorges ATV things, 15 miles an hour. Looks like my trail goes off that way. Road closed 4 miles ahead. Let's see over here. All right. It's the Jim Timmerman Natural Resources area of Jocassee Gorges. All right, back at the Laurel Valley Access parking lot, and broke out my chair for lunch, kicked off my shoes. My feet are much happier that way. I'm actually having a hot lunch today. I'm making some ramen noodles. I'm going to throw in some Tuna Creations honey barbecue. I mean, chicken ramen with Tuna Creations honey barbecue is probably not the best thing in the world, but I really don't care. I got really hungry on this first part of my hike today, the first half, and that's you know, I ate 2 packets of oatmeal this morning. I ate all of a pouch of M&Ms, and I had a Spam single. So I'm beginning to get hiker hunger. I'm beginning to burn through calories. It's crazy because you want stuff and yet you don't have appetite for the things that you have with you, which you always hear about when you watch a video of a thru-hiker. So anyway, that's kind of where I am, but this sounds really good to me right now. I'm pretty excited about it, and I'm going to let my legs relax for half an hour. I'm not going to attempt anything for another half hour, and then I'll gather myself up for the final assault today, the second half, and the shorter but steeper climbs, I think is fair to say. This is 178, where it comes out over the Esteto Creek, I believe is what this is. This bridge was made in 1932. And directly across, Sassafras Mountain, 4.5 miles, definitely en route for today, and 14.2 Table Rock for tomorrow. It's beginning to feel close, but I'm also looking at this trail going, oh crap, this is going to be a pain. Yep, it goes up the hill there. All right, onward. The climb to Chimney Gap has been steep, but bearable. What's less bearable is the sun, which is hiding up there because I picked a spot to stop in the shade. You can really feel it. I mean, like, it feels 15 degrees hotter when you walk into a sunny spot. And this, unfortunately, the side of this mountain has been devastated by storm winds. You see all these dead limbs and stuff coming down. So the canopy is not as thick here as it has been in other places. And that makes it a little tougher. But we're making progress. Feeling good. Feeling good. A nice flat spot up here. And I don't know if you can see through the trees, there are some clouds coming, which could portend rain and thunderstorms. Oh, wasp on the tree there. But definitely spectacular views. I think I'm hearing cars on a road somewhere. So I've reached the first little hump of the mountain successfully. Yeah, definitely a car. And I have a lot more to go, but I'm feeling good about it. I think the rewards will pay off. There's a big boulder on the right, but it must have come from somewhere up there. I hope they stay where they are while I'm hiking through. It's beautiful and impressive. Wow. You can't see it through the trees, but there's a perfectly situated camp slot on a flat top surrounded in a forest right beside a creek. Not any map or any guidebook or anything like that. It must be brand new. But the surroundings here are absolutely just stunning. Just stunning. Wow. I think I might have a peek here. Yeah. I don't know if this camera's good enough to get it. I'll see if I have an opening. But of what I deduce to be Table Rock. But I'm not sure. It's an impressive mountain. Maybe I'm destined to climb that today. Maybe that's tomorrow. Maybe that's Hickory Nut. But I do have a breeze. Look at those beautiful mare's tail clouds. And then those fish scale looking things. Alright, I just got to remember really too fancy about the signboard here at Chimney Gap Access from this side. Trail continues across this way. If my Scott Lynch guidebook is right, it's 1.8 miles to the summit of Sassafras. I don't know if that's right, but I think that's what it said. Hard to say. Anyway, we're back at it. So I've just passed what appears to be a saddle on Sassafras. And I think if I can get little peaks of sunlight up there of sky, I think straight ahead is the summit. So this will get nasty here shortly, vertically. But just listen for a second. It's absolutely still. It's absolutely quiet. Even though I've been coming uphill for, I don't know, last hour or more on this mountain, it's been very peaceful. It's almost spiritual in terms of how quiet and soothing it is. Occasionally a breeze will come through across the saddle. I caught one a moment ago. But it's been really nice. It's been really special. I like Sassafras. Sassy, as I call her. I've been talking to her. This is a pretty area. Old growth timber. White pine seedlings planted in 72. These are 46 years old. It's a pretty area up here. Well, friends, that sign and that site mean I am almost atop Sassy. And I think the view is going to be really well worth it, especially today. Look, the trail goes over the top. I shall follow it. All right. Got to do the standing in two states thing. But let's look to the north, to North Carolina. All right, we're crossing into South Carolina. Those meandering lakes, Kiowee, Jocassee, I don't know the others. I think that must be Jocassee over there. Call me happy. I'm standing on the summit of the highest mountain in South Carolina. I have no longer or higher climbs than what I've already accomplished. I've come 60 some miles to this point in 6 days. And I have a few more today to go. But tonight, when I go to sleep, I'll know that I have to hike up Butternut Knob or something. Maybe that? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't know the directions. I should look at a map, I suppose. But anyway. This is a feeling of accomplishment. Since 7:50 this morning, I've been climbing uphill, downhill some too, but to try to get to this point. Which I did. What time is it? 5:13 right now. Oh, and peerless weather. High clouds. These don't look like rain. I was worried about that. So that might mean a tarp-free night tonight. I don't know. Rugged mountains all along this. Third snaky. This, I believe, is a black racer. Kind of rat snake. Sassafras Mountain is behind me. Table Rock ahead of me. But the reason for the sign is that the Palmetto Trail, whatever that is, goes off that way. But I'm headed down this way still to the John Cantrell home site. Whew, shouldn't be a whole lot further is my fervent hope and wish. I mean, I still have energy. I still got legs. I still have lungs at this point. But I would like a satisfying arrival into camp, set up in the daylight, cook dinner, just, you know, good stuff. So, up ahead. I'm excited. Oh, this is a pretty place. This is a pretty place. The old chimney. Benches, a fire pit. Oh, look at this. Pre-gathered firewood. A fire, a grill. Look at these ceremonial chairs. Pick your druidic chair. I think I'll stick to the bench. Oh man, this is lovely. Lovely. That was a quick 1.2, let me tell you. It's right up on 6 o'clock on the nose. So, in camp by 6 on day 6. Sorry about my hiking stick. In camp by 6 on day 6 with only 8 point something to go. I'll review that later. For now, I got to figure out the ideal hammock setup in the Cantrell home site. I'm making fire preparations. Found a couple of twigs. Been breaking up a bunch of wood using a split and a tree. Have some other pieces here as well. But I had to move a whole family of snails out of the fire ring. For some reason, they were in it. So, interesting. This is a cool old home site. We got a beautiful place here to build a house. I'm gonna try to pick up the guidebook so I know the story behind some of these places. The FTC guidebook that has the history in it. All right, time to think about day 6 highlights. Been running these down every time. I think in the morning with the Laurel Fork Valley, it's so pretty with all the water and bridges and things. I had a relaxed lunch. That was nice. Rested, gave my legs some fight for the uphill climb. Really like the Chimney Top campsite. That whole area. Beautiful terrain. Perfect location for a campsite. And of course, Miss Sassy. Really enjoyed the climb. Just going up in the quiet. That was nice. And then the panoramas from the top. Plus, little snake. 2 snake sightings today. That's always special. Okay. That'll do me. Just listen. Alright, today's campfire is going to be all about being easy. I'm going to use a couple pieces of Coughlin's fire starter. All right. Good fire is all about preparation. Well, at this hour of day, the sunlight is coming into camp, illuminating the rhododendron and things. It's pretty. Gorgeous. Well, you know how I said every trip has its challenges, every day has its challenges. Tonight's is going to be a mountaintop thunderstorm. So I've hunkered down here under my tarp. It's in it's in porch mode over here, tied down to a rock. Yeah, what do you do? What are these circumstances when you're on a mountaintop in a thunderstorm? I'm gonna pray. And I'm gonna hope that the storm passes quickly and safely. It can rain all night long. I don't care. I've had portents of this all night. Heat lightning in the distance. And I put up my tarp to start with rolls of thunder when it was still daylight. So it's been coming. It is now beginning to arrive. So we will see what we see. And yeah. You can hear the rain on the roof.